From Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, doing our thing here on ESPN 97.5. Hey, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good coming off of a major monster weekend. But how you feel, dog? How you feel?
Yo, same book, coming off of a major monster weekend myself. Another trip around the sun for me. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who tapped in with your boy for his birthday. I appreciate all the love. A lot of Hall of Fame listeners, man, tapped in. So I appreciate everybody for that. And now I'm feeling like you, like the knees, they're a little tighter. You know what I'm saying? I got to stretch.
Let's not talk about knees. All right,
That's right.
My knee right now
That's right.
is killing me. Okay, let me give everybody a little overview because I don't want anybody to see me here over the next couple of days and say, man, what's wrong with Booker T? Why is he walking with a cane? Because I'm old, first of all, but no, man. No, but when I tend to, fly a whole lot these days, especially at like over 3 hours, 3.5 hours, the pressure in the plane tends to do something to me. But then when I go to a cold city, that just throws it totally out of the whack. And I wouldn't have missed it for the world, though. I wouldn't have missed John Cena's last match for the world. But going to Washington, D.C., it was about 25 degrees. It was snowing. You know what I mean? It was so just messy. And it was crazy as my body tends to will me through no matter what I'm going through. I'll get through it. But soon as it's over with, everything just break down. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm experiencing right now. My knee swole up astronomically. I just came from Colombia, so I was flying like crazy going there. And I think it's just too much flying, but my knee was like so swollen last night. The pain threshold was like a 10, as far as 10 out of 10. It might have been a 12. I'm serious. I mean, I literally wanted to cry at certain times. I just wanted to cry. But I got through it. I've been icing because I got to go to work. I got to go to work in the morning. So if you guys see me walking in the airport and I got a cane, it's nothing more than a swollen knee, and it should subside in another 2 days. Normally, when this happened, it takes about 4 to 5 days before it really clear up. So hopefully, that's the case.
You know what, Book, though? We should have. I'm sorry I brought up the knee because we could have really worked it. We could have really milked this. What you should have done is show up at the airport, have someone push you around in a wheelchair, let the fans take pictures. It gets up on all the sheets. Why is Booker in a wheelchair?
I'm not good.
Show up to you just got to do something. Mess with the people. You got to mess with the people.
Just do something, you know what I mean? Put a scarf over my head, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have an eye patch on for some reason. You know what I mean? Be like Jesse. Cause some chaos. Like Jesse.
Oh man, God, no man, but I'm good. Cena's last match, the house was sold out to the wrap.
I want to talk to you. I have a lot that I want to ask you about Cena's last match, and obviously we're going to talk about that this year. I mean, this week, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fighting. The Texans been putting it on those boys. Patty Mahomes down with ACL. But I do, if I can borrow a second of time, I do want to acknowledge the passing of one of the great filmmakers of all time and his wife, Rob Reiner. I'm sure you saw the storybook. It's been going out there.
It's really sad.
Absolutely terrible. This is a guy, Princess Bride with Andre the Giant for us wrestling fans was huge. This is Spinal Tap, one of my favorite movies of all time. When Harry Met Sally, The American President, Misery, A Few Good Men, just to name a few of what he did, and All in the Family, with Archie Bunker and his dad, Carl Reiner. He did so much and was so great. And to be taken in the way that he was, allegedly, as of right now, he and his wife, is just the worst possible ending for somebody who gave so much. And I know that we don't really get into the politics here too much, but I am also just disgusted by the way the leader of the country reacted to his passing. And I think it's not becoming of the office of the presidency. It doesn't shock me that it happens, but as you're a leader of all Americans, it's sad when anybody loses their life at a human level, even if they weren't a fan of yours. But
It's sad,
Rob Reiner is amazing.
it's sad that we're at a place, where when someone go, you can't say something nice about them. You know what I mean? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Just one of those type of things, And besides all the accolades Rob Reiner had, that's just not the way a man's supposed to go out this earth.
Mm.
It's just not. It's not the way a man's supposed to leave this earth by allegedly at the will of their son. You know what I mean? That's just not the way a man is supposed to leave this earth. One that you brought in, one that you nurtured for so many years. It's just sad all around. And for our president to not be able to say something nice in that moment, I just don't want my kids to have to look up to a person like that. I just don't.
I think that attitude reflects leadership, and
if anybody think any different than that, this is not political or anything like that.
It's not a political thing at all. No,
it's not political at all. It's not a slate on a person other than this is not the moment. This is not the time for something other than condolences to this man, family, and his friends and his loved ones. That's it.
That's all. But that's just about like a basic human level of decency. It's the lowest possible bar to clear. That's definitely not something that you want to ever do. And to me, again,
I got kids. Man. I got kids. Yeah. I got kids, and I just want my kids to be good people. My mother taught me it don't cost you anything to be nice to people. That's what my mother taught me. That's what I remember my mother teaching me before she died. That was one of the most important lessons that I ever got in my life. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to folks. I swear to God. Nothing.
I agree. That's one of the great lessons that your mother taught you. And as I referenced, when my father passed earlier this year, if not for the grace of God, there go I, right? I mean, we need to respect our fellow people, man. God, this is it's not a political thing at all. This is just a basic human level of decency for somebody who lost their life in the most horrific way possible. And I know he wasn't the only one over the weekend. There was stuff in Australia. There was things on college campuses. It's tragedies all around. So we acknowledge them all, and our thoughts are with everybody. But it hurts because I'm such a movie fan. I actually got to interview Rob Reiner one time, and so I felt like this connection to him and his movies. And God, it was so disheartening to read, and then to read what happened. So like you said, Book, what you're supposed to do, acknowledge that we've tragically lost a human's life, and our condolences to the rest of his family and friends and loved ones and fans all around. Just terrible. Yeah,
it really is. It really is.
If I can make a hard pivot, is those Texans though are looking great.
Better than Dallas.
They're going to do it. They're looking way better than Dallas.
They're looking better than Dallas, man. I feel sorry for them boys, man, because I like Dak and the boys, man, but they just came up big time short. But them Texans, man, they're on fire right now. They really are. Offense clicking, defense looking, astronomical, phenomenal. I mean, unbelievable. So my thing is, if we can just keep it going, get in the playoffs, win one game, and then we go from there. All right, let's just
one game at a time, baby.
I know you thought I was going to say something else. All right,
because I know you. I know you.
I can see any. I mean, you are.
We going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Your eyes that big, and that's the first thing I thought about. So I say, no, let's just win one game, and then we'll go from there. How about that?
Because I will never forgive you for that time we're live on air, and it looks like the Rockets are going to beat the Warriors. You're like, we're going to the finals. We're doing it. And then we missed 27 threes in a row.
I was hot on the boy. I was behind that boy, with
hard.
the beard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was on his side for a minute. Yeah. But it's all good.
We want to see those Houston Texans go out there. And while we're talking about things though going on Saturday, don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Reality of Wrestling, Sub-Zero, the biggest show of this winter and the Reality Wrestling calendar. And you don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. The Fatal 4-Way for the Reality Wrestling Championship, Women's Championship, Legacy Championship, WWID Championship.
And,
come on, man.
And surprises. All right.
Oh.
So tomorrow, a big announcement will be going out as far as big surprise at Reality Wrestling for Sub-Zero. Oh, yes, man.
Okay. See, I don't even know what this surprise is. I'm looking forward to it. Nobody's clued me in.
We haven't told you about it yet.
I'm not even. I'm not. I used to be in the loop. What happened?
I'll tell you after the show, man. I'll tell you after the show. We got a big special something going down for Sub-Zero. Don't miss out. So guys that haven't bought their tickets, get ready to go buy them very, very quickly if you haven't bought tickets.
Okay, well, let's go to break, and then we'll talk more about Reality Wrestling and John Cena.
Stick around, y'all. Stick around. We'll be back in a momento.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex, shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me Missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, "We can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security." It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Want to thank you guys, the listeners, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. They get your champagne witches, caviar dream. I almost forgot about you guys, but appreciate you guys being here, man, always.
Yes. Yeah, we appreciate all the sponsors of the show, too. Blue Chew, by the way, they have a new product book that I think they're going to be sending soon called Blue Chew Gold.
Oh, yeah?
Right, yeah. The gold label.
Get me my package quickly.
Oh, yo, Buck. My
I'm just saying, man.
God, man. I don't know what you do sometimes, man. Just
Oh my God.
killer. Get my package quickly.
That's what I need. I need it.
Okay.
Gotta try it out. What do you think, man?
Stop it, man.
Shit.
Just stop.
You ought
Stop
to try
it.
it too, man. You ought to try it.
Oh my good God in heaven. Anyway, the Blue Chew Gold is out. Gold label. Okay, let's get into it. It's what everyone wants to talk about. John Cena's last match. You went to DC.
A lot of controversy. Let's just say that. A lot
A
of
lot of
people,
controversy.
you know, I
I
was in
don't
the
think there should be
airport.
any.
I mean, people was talking to me. I mean, every fan that came up to me had a story to tell. They wanted to talk about John Cena's last match. So many people. I had to, like say, hey, bro, look, I don't write it. I don't write the show. But a lot of people are definitely upset, to say the least, as far as the ending of Gunther versus John Cena. I'm just saying. Now go ahead. Go ahead and make your point.
Okay, here's my point. Look, could you have done John Cena goes out there in his final match and is victorious against Gunther and retires and everyone has a smile on their face? Absolutely. Could have done it. Easy story. Nobody would have thought twice about it. I think, though, the way the match ended, talk about whatever you want else in the match. I want to talk about the ending. When you think about the ending of a character of John Cena, whose whole career was you'll fight through adversity, you're never giving up. And then he said, I'm retiring because I'm on my last run. I don't feel like I can do it at the same level that I've always done. And the poetry of the moment that Gunther puts him in the sleeper, and John realizes in the moment, you see it on his face. In the moment, he realizes, wow, I really can't do this anymore. And that's when he smiles. He has like a smirk on his face and taps out, right? Gingerly taps out, meaning I could still fight, but I know that he's got me. I know that he's got me. I think it's a perfect ending to the character. I don't think, and guess what it does for Gunther? Let me read to you something that a mutual friend of ours said to me today. They texted me this, and they said Gunther is about to have the most is about to be the most hated heel in WWE this millennium. They're going to boo him with the angry, lustful hate of a million mid-40-year-old divorcees whose rich husbands left them for a stripper. That's what somebody texted me. Somebody we both know. Okay. I think that it sets Gunther up more than he needed. But to me, I loved that was a great character. That was just a great character moment. I put Dominic Mysterio put him over on the way out, dropped the title to him, let Gunther retire me and Goldberg in the same year, set him up.
The perspective that you're looking at it from, I get it. All right. But I think the perspective that the fans are looking at it from is totally different. All right. See, because
I understand that too.
No, because the fans were looking whether John Cena won the match or lost the match. I think the fans were really, really looking to feel something in that moment to where it was not just John Cena's last match, but it was the last time the people was going to see John Cena also. It wasn't just about John Cena's last match. It was about the fans seeing John Cena for the last time. And I go back to, this is what I equated to when I came to WWE and I was on the house shows and I was working a match. And I worked the match and then I came back to the dressing room. And as soon as I came through the curtain, Jack Lanza, he pulled me to the side and he goes, kid, you just missed a moment. You just missed a moment. And then I didn't know what he was talking about. Then he explained it to me and he said, tomorrow we're going to go out there. We're going to have that same match. And at the end of that match, when I lose, he says, stay on the ground. Don't move. He said, let that heel walk all the way through the curtain and then see what happened by the time you get to one knee. And I did that. By the time I was up to my feet, It was a standing ovation. Some fan in the audience really wanted to cry, but they really couldn't because they didn't feel it the way they should have. That whole audience should have been crying. Everybody in the audience should have been like literally bawling in tears. But that's, here nor there. That's just the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. If it would have been structured a certain way, like Jack Lanza explained to me, so I understand exactly what you're saying, but I understand exactly what all the fans are saying as well.
Well, I mean, that's what's great about this art form, right? Is it's completely interpretive. And to me, I looked at it from a cinematic character standpoint, but at the same time, this is what makes pro wrestling so interesting is you are in a ring full of how many people were there? 20,000 people. You want to make sure they feel some sort of way. You had the best seat in the house. You're right there ringside, along with some other legends I saw for Cena's last match. What was the aura? Walk me through kind of the day. I mean, when did you get there? Did you pull up right before the show started? Like, what was the aura?
No, I got there like 5 o'clock, because I knew exactly what I was going to be doing. I was just going out to, watch the match, more than anything. I was just there, just to support Cena. That's it. But it was cool, seeing, and, like guys, me and Mark Henry, we chopped it up and kicked it. Jesse Ventura, Tyrese Halliburton, we kicked it. Him and his dad, was there, and man, we was. I had them laughing the whole time, man. I was just telling jokes and just cracking them up. Tyrese Halliburton had a very, very interesting conversation with Jesse Ventura. That's something that I was just totally all on him about. But it was a really.
Wait,
really...
you're gonna leave me wondering what that is? Oh. What are Tyrese Halliburton and Jesse Ventura talking about? That's like one of life's great mysteries.
I give a little bit of nugget, but I don't talk about stuff that guys do backstage. You know me.
I know. How was Jesse? Did you talk? You talked to Jesse?
Yeah, man. Jesse rolled up on me, man, and he hit me from the backside, and he, hey, Book, and that, Jesse used to call a lot of my matches back in WCW.
Yeah.
He always used to make me look good, and it was just cool. To see Jesse, he had the rendition of Jimi Hendrix going on. He had the beard, the jacket and whatnot. So it was cool. It was really, really, really cool just to hang up. Like I said, my knee was killing me. Other than that, it was a really, really good night.
So when you're out there and you see John, did you have like any flashbacks of working with him? Like you saw his whole career. I mean, you were there the night that he debuted, from the Ruthless Aggression. You were there, and then you were there to see his last match. What was kind of going through your head?
Me and John Cena, we got a connection. We're connected. I had so many matches with John. I was one of the guys that was, it was never wrestling. It was always Shakespeare. And him and I, we've never talked about wrestling. It's always been Shakespeare, and that's what I told him right before the match. I gave him a hug and I said, Shakespeare, baby, let's get it done one last time. But it was really, really cool. It's really, really cool because there again, I had a great time working with John, being on the road with John, watching him grow, knowing that he was the chosen one. And the guy that they were grooming to be the next, Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, per se, Shawn Michaels, So I had a job to do, and that job was to go out there and make this young kid star.
And man, one of the biggest stars in the history of the business. I will say this, and I know that we'll probably talk more about John Cena because you're about to go to break. But I'll say I've only met John one time. But it showed me so much about who the man was. And it was 2017 WrestleMania 34 Hall of Fame. You were gracious enough to invite me to come along with you and Charmel. And I remember standing in the back, and John walks by and gives you the big hug. And y'all do the same thing you just said. Y'all said Shakespeare to each other and laughed and handshake and a big hug. And John Cena was with his girlfriend at the time. And they start walking by and they're going into the arena. And he stops, he pivots. He walks over to me and he goes, hey, I'm John, by the way. And he sticks his hand out. And I go, hey, John, great to meet you, Brad Gilmore. I work with Book. He goes, great to meet you too. And then he turned around and walked, into the arena. And I thought, wow, what a guy,
Yeah.
What a class act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw him at the PC one day, and he goes, "Hey, he said Shakespeare, whatnot." And then he was walking away, and he turned around and go, "Hey, Book." I go, "Yeah, how you doing, man?" I said, "I'm good, dog. How you doing?" He said, "I'm good, man." But it was just that's the way him and I have always been, man. I'm just glad to see him go out the way he did. Hey, man, we got to take a quick break. Stick around. You are inside the Hall of Fame. We will be back in a memento. Hey, this is Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Fame. I got something for you guys, man. Look, when I was a kid, man, cereal was my jam. But now, since I'm a grown man, I'm looking for something that gives me more than just a sugar rush and carbs, man. That's when I found Magic Spoon. Look, it's a cereal that gives you the taste of your childhood favorites, but without sugar and packed with tons of protein.
And if you're already a fan of Magic Spoon, then you need to listen up to this because I've got some big news. Magic Spoon has taken that amazing cereal that we all love and turned it into high-protein treats. These new treats are light, they're crispy, and they become my go-to snack, especially before or even after the gym.
Yeah, man, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carb. That fruity and cocoa flavor are the classic ones, but there's a whole lot more to try, man.
And those new treats, they've got 12 grams of protein and come in flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Perfect when you're on the go or you need a quick snack to fuel up before that workout.
Yeah, man, I keep a box in my gym bag, but it's a great late night snack as well. Those treats have that crispy texture, great taste, and the macros that make you feel good about eating them.
So Magic Spoon's bringing back those nostalgic flavors, but without all the stuff that we don't want. So if you want to try it for yourself and get $5 off your next order, go to magicspoon.com/HOF. That's magicspoon.com/HOF. Or you can even find it on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store.
That's magicspoon.com/HOF for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Talking John Cena's last match. DC, baby. DC, was cold. It was cold. Oh,
That Hawk.
Bro, it was more than a hawk, man. I swear when that snow was coming down, it was wet and cold and nasty. I was like, man, it's not gonna be a good day for me. But like I said, I wouldn't have missed it for the what.
I'll tell you, no, I was out last night. It was my birthday. It was just when it dropped, it was cold here in Houston last night. It was like 32 degrees, 33 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm talking to somebody, and I'm literally doing this, I'm standing outside a place, and I'm, and they're like, "What's wrong?" I go, "I'm cold."
Yeah,
it's cold out here. Bro, I'm not built for this.
And there was nowhere near that DC, like seriously cold weather. There was nothing like that. Seriously.
Yeah. No, but, I definitely understand. But yeah, so let me ask you this. You're there for Cena's last match. You're in the building. Did you get to see Oba and Cody? Did you get to see Javon and those boys? Did you talk to them beforehand? Kind of walk me through some of that.
Oba went out there and I got a chance to see both of them. I got a chance to see Javon, of course, man. That kid, he's so exciting right now as far as what he's doing. He's so happy about going out there and doing it, and he seemed to be so comfortable being in that situation at 21 years old. That's what gets me more than anything. He's so young and in that situation under those bright lights, man, it doesn't seem like it bothers him at all. It seems like he shines like crazy. But Oba definitely went out there and did a hell of a job with Cody Rhodes. Looked like he belonged on the main roster. Looked like he could compete with anybody, on the main roster right now. Just the walk, the tribal walk, you know what I mean? And then to get there and, really turn into Oba Femi and go in the middle of that ring and handle business from both sides. You know what I mean? Oba Femi knows exactly how to go out there and perform, and he still has so much more to learn. He really does. Sure. But I look at him now and in his infancy stages, and man, he has picked it up so quickly. So yeah, man, I see nothing but bright future for that kid, Oba Femi. And Cody Rhodes, went out there and, put him to work. Went out there and let's see exactly what Obafemi can actually do. Let's see how the fans are really going to react to Obafemi in the middle of the ring with, someone like myself. And Cody did a hell of a job. I must say, Cody did a hell of a job quarterbacking that thing. So for me, great night for, all participants.
Yeah, and good finish too, protecting Oba in the way that they did, right? I mean, because that was the one thing I was worried about. I'm like, well, Obafemi can't go in there and beat the WWE champion, right? I mean, you can't go and do that unless you're about to launch him into the stratosphere. And so I was wondering, like, how are they going to get out of this? And I thought it was a good way that ended up happening. Drew McIntyre, by the way, I think Drew McIntyre. Remember how you would talk about Christian as like one of the most underrated guys when he was on the roster with you. You're like, Christian was the guy, Christian Cage. I think that Drew, I don't know if he's underrated, but I think he is one of the most important guys on that roster. Guys like him and Sami Zayn over the last 6-7 years. Kevin Owens is another name I throw out there. Like, that's your core. Those are your guys who, they might not be the Stephen Curry all the time, right? The star of the show. But they're the Klay Thompson, they're the Draymond Green, they're the Dennis Rodman, they're the Scottie Pippen, and that you need. And to me, Drew, he's so fantastic, even in small roles when he's not doing anything. He's still fantastic. He was fantastic. He got me to pop for his John Cena tribute video. Like, I don't know if you saw the video where they do the tribute, but like he's so smart to this business. And I mean, he is a guy I really, really appreciate being a part of this company.
I think he keeps it real. That's what I like about Drew McIntyre. He says it was on his mind. When you hear about something that Drew said, it's the way he really feels. He's not afraid to get a little bit of heat in the locker room, with the boys, because the boys they're not writing the checks. That's what I would tell Drew McIntyre. But nah, man,
also with the boys. Drew's a big guy. I've been around.
Well, he's a big guy. I think he can handle himself, and that's why I say when you get heat, it doesn't matter, especially if you can protect yourself because ain't nobody gonna jump, as well as the boys aren't writing the checks.
Yeah,
the boss is cool with it. Everything's good. That's the way I always looked at it.
Well, it's like it reminds me of our favorite Tyson interview. It was like if Drew says something and somebody has a problem with it, what are you gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? You're not gonna do nothing. Drew's a big guy. Drew's a big guy.
No.
They're not gonna do nothing about it. What do you think about Sol Ruca?
Man, Sol Ruca, and I hope no one takes this the wrong way. Because she's so talented. She can do so much, in that ring, and she's so innovative. She definitely carving her own path at such a young age in the game. And I just want to see Sol Ruca around a whole lot longer, more than anything. And a lot of times, just certain bumps, certain body positions. I just don't want to see Sol Ruca hurt herself and not be able to do this for a very, very long time. So that's what I think about when I see Sol Ruca, because she's so freaking talented. She can definitely change the whole name of the game. But one thing about this game, it's about the longevity. Also, you got to know how to last in this business. And throwing caution to the wind is something that's I really truly believe is necessary. You just got to know when to do it, where to do it, why you do it.
Don't you think it's like the age-old thing in this industry of when you're younger, you take the crazier bumps and you're doing this, you think that's the way to get the people to pop, and then when you get older, it's like you realize oh no, I could do it this week. Because I remember you tell a story of you and Taker going like, what took us so long to figure this out? The small things. And to me, the ultimate Booker T story for me is, okay, think about young Book. You're doing the missile drop kick. You're doing the high Harlem sidekick, the Harlem hangover, all the amazing athletic stuff you could do, right? And then I fast forward to match you had with Rex Andrews at Reality Wrestling, where you had a drop kick spot planned and you said, throw it out. We don't need it. Right? We don't need it. We already got him.
Yeah.
We don't need the drop kick. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Plus, I might get hurt.
Exactly.
Throw it out.
Yeah. No, that's the game. Of course, you learn as you get older. But even at the young student of the game, I was just like, say, for instance, we had a kid in WCW. His name was the Wonder Kid, Alex Wright.
Yeah.
And his entrance was he would go up to the top rope and he would do a backflip into the ring, and boom, he would land perfectly in the middle of the ring. And at maybe 21 years old, that's perfectly fine. But I say, do that one move for 10 years, your knees are going to be shot. And that's the first thing that you do. That's your entrance. And one thing about your entrance, when you doing something like that, promoters are going to want to see it. When you show up, that's the first thing they want to see is that backflip. So when you start doing certain things, you got to know when you're doing them, why you're doing them, more than anything. And it has to be a reason for everything. So that's why when I look at a lot of the young talent today, they can pretty much do anything in the middle of the ring, as far as technical wise, performance wise. But the psychology is the one thing that I want these young kids to really, really try to hone in on, because I look at AJ Styles, 15 years ago, and I look at AJ Styles now. So I'm just speaking facts more than anything, and really being able to capitalize off of this game, this wrestling business, and trying to make it last as long as you possibly can, because it's an expiration date on this thing. So you better be ready when that time comes.
Right. And you work smarter, not harder. The old adage. But with Soul Ruka, part of her appeal obviously is that dynamic athleticism. So are you saying like she got to figure out how to adapt that moving forward, like with you, like the example you just gave with AJ Styles?
Yeah. Just like, say, for instance, Saturday Night Main Event. I don't care if you go out there and be indie-rific. you feel me? You let it all hang out. But then just say, for instance, NXT, you dial it back a little bit, when to do certain things. And then, when we got a PLE, you might want to, my thing is when I would perform, I would never give the fans everything on one show. I would always give them a bit here. Next show, I'll give them a bit here. Next show, I'll give them a little bit something else. That way they thought I was inventing stuff, every month when I really wasn't. I was just holding back on actually what I could do. I remember Carlito. For so many years, I saw Carlito work as a heel. And then he turned babyface. And then Carlito was doing backflips and everything. And I went up to him and I go, bro, I didn't even know you could do that stuff. He goes, I didn't need to. Hey, man, we got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando Whole Body Deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. The most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book, and let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long-lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time. Since switching to Mando, I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got. It's aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code Booker at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com.
Boom! Welcome back inside Hall of Fame. What, man?
I know I'm losing it. That's what. I'm losing it. You know, we're playing this ad just now, the Mando ad for our YouTube listeners. Or for our radio listeners, we were playing a Mando ad, and I'm sitting here working on editing the segment up. And in the ad, you go, something is valuable. You know what's second? Time, right? But when I'm working and you go, you know what's second? Out loud right now, I go, what's that, BT? Like we're doing the ad, like we're doing it live. I go, what's that, BT? And I just start laughing to myself.
Too much, bro. You working?
I'm losing it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm losing it.
Yeah, take a step back.
Hey, you know what? I wanted to ask you this. Cena did a bunch of media leading up to his final match. A lot of great interviews. And I sent them to our director, Kevin, director of reality wrestling. I'm like, hey, the boys need to listen to these, like his perspective. So a lot of sentiments that you echo, just reinforcing them. And I loved listening to him. And I think Van Vliet had probably the best interview with him moving forward. But he brought up a couple of things. Well, one of them I wanted to run by you is he doesn't know if less house shows is better for the boys long term or worse for the boys and girls long term, just based on being able to apply the craft. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. House shows, again, historically, y'all were on the road 200-300 days a year. You did a whole bunch of shows. It did allow you to apply your craft and maybe work at a higher level and work out kinks and bugs and figure things out, like you said with the Jack Lanza story, but it did put a lot of road miles on your body, the bumps on your bump card and things of that nature. So he was kind of conflicted on if less house shows is good long-term or not. I ask you, what do you think?
Well, I mean, of course, less house shows is going to be better on your body. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing about, doing house shows, just like say, for instance, if these guys are going out and doing house shows the same way that they're going out there and doing TV, they're not going to learn anything else out on the house shows that they're doing on television. If they can't go out there and be with a freelance and just figure out how this thing works from a psychology perspective, it's not going to do them any good. But then again, how are you going to learn psychology when you don't know it?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that right there is pretty hard, say put them out on the house show and they can let them learn psychology. How you going to learn it when you don't have someone teaching it to you? That was the difference back in the day. You know what I mean? You had maybe one guy was experienced, but you got another guy that's more experienced that was able to teach you a whole lot more opposed to just being out there in the ring doing moves. You know what I mean? I think it's a double-edged sword. I really think that. Yeah.
But okay, tell me this. I know you historically rode alone, right? Or you and your brother rode together a lot.
I would ride by myself a lot.
But I remember listening to like Steve Austin back when he first started his podcast, and he would talk about how those times on the road, really sometimes the education came in the car, right? Because you were driving the vet to the next town, and the vet was sitting there either helping you book the territory, smarting you up, running the business through, hey kid, this is what you need to do, such and such and such and such. And it was just the fact that they were together for 300 miles. You could learn so much, maybe not from the match that you did, but after the match and talking through it and making the towns. And if you don't have that anymore and you can only apply the craft, hey, maybe I only have access to Booker 30 minutes before NXT or 30 minutes after the taping is done. And I'm not riding with him to the next town where he can really break it down for me. And I know like we do film studies and Zooms and stuff, but I understand how that could be a very vital part of the business.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think the kids that's getting that extra 30 minutes before and after, they're going to learn a whole lot more than the ones that just going out there trying to figure it out.
Well, hell yeah. Yeah.
You know, me personally, if I'm in a class and I know it's a problem that you know that I can't figure out, I know the professor should be able to help me. Right,
Hell yeah.
right.
Great, great. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
so that's the way I look at something like that. When I look at boxing, the trainer's never going to be some young kid. It's going to be some old wise guy that's been there. Like
Facts.
like Bojangles. You know what I mean? The silver hair, the ragged shirt, and the baggy pants. But that man could dance.
The tap dancer?
Bojangles,
Of course. I know who you're talking about.
great song,
Bojangles is the man.
man. Sammy Davis Jr. Man, oh God, man, one of my favorite. Just listen to the song with let Sammy spit it to you, bro. I'll tell you, it's a great, great song. Really is. Bojangles.
Man, well, you don't have to tell me how much I love Sammy Dean and Frank and all those guys. But you're right too. So what you're saying is if those kids don't have maybe the access to the vets in the way that they used to when you were making the towns and being on the road, hey, but if I know Booker's sitting there, in Gorilla or at the Bosch Pit at Reality Wrestling, or I know, he's going to be at the whatever restaurant he always goes to after the show, I'm gonna say, hey, Book, can I get a bite with you? Like, I want to run some stuff by you. 10 times out of 10, you're gonna say yes. You'll be like,
I'm gonna
yeah,
tell you
come
right
on
now,
by, bro.
I got so many kids at NXT. They come. I got to work last week, and two guys they were waiting on me. You know what I mean? I come in with my food, and I'm sitting ready to set it up. I go, "What's up, guys?" They go, "Yeah, go ahead and get yourself straight." I go, "I'm straight. What's going on?" We just got some footage we want to look at you with. So, boom, we ran through the footage. Probably took about 15 minutes. I gave them the exact do's and don'ts and what I needed in that match and what I didn't need. And they wrote it all down, and boom, they bounced up out of there. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for guys like that. That's looking to learn and looking for feedback and looking for, knowledge to try to learn this thing and not just learn it, but learn it properly. And I get those, you know what? The OTM. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. The OTM, those are my guys. I want to make sure I see those guys get to the next level. So we gonna do skull sessions. We're gonna get in that dark room and put the black mask on and self-interrogation mode. You know what I mean? Let's figure this thing out. Let's pick apart everything, man. And I tell it, not shoot it from the hip, exactly how we think it should go. You know what I mean? I've worked with Trick Williams. He's one of my guys. I haven't done a whole lot of work with Javon Evans other than just pop him up and tell him how good he is. You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing, son. Hey, don't ever do that right there ever again. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But then I gotta say, don't do it ever again. But then I say, but do it this way. Don't do it like that. Do it like this. You know what I mean? You could do that in other occasions when you know such and such XYZ, but otherwise do it like this, and you will not miss. So that's the way I look at working with these young guys.
I gotta say, one of my great pleasures, just fly on the wall, great pleasures, is sitting there on show days at Reality Wrestling when the guys and girls are coming into the office, right? And I won't say who it is, but sometimes somebody comes in and be like, hey, Book, I want to do this, blah, 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 right? And I can just see it. I read your mind. I can just read your mind. And you give them the proper due. You don't cut them off. You just let them lay it out. And so many times I've heard you go, now, bro, why would we do that? It tickles me every time. You let him finish. You hear it out. Hey, honestly, to anybody listen to this, he does listen to it like legitimately. Like I'm listening through it, and then sometimes you go, give that to me again.
If
and
it's
they
good,
give it to you again.
If it's good,
you're like,
I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. Or you just go, why would we ever do that? Which is a great, but that's such a great piece of advice in itself. Right? Why would we ever do that?
Yeah.
Think about it. Why would we do that? And then you tell them, explain it to me. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have a psychological reason
Yeah.
of why they would do it.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
such a
man.
great way to teach you. You kind of put them on the spot.
You could say always go to the professor. He's normally going to have all the answers. You know, he's not going to fail the test. You know, he's great.
No.
He's grading the test.
You're right.
You know, so that's just the way I've always looked at this business. You know, I never thought that I was the smartest guy in the room. I never thought I was the smartest guy in the ring or anything like that. I knew when I had guys, you know, that I could learn from, and I could not wait to actually get that knowledge. You know, like I said, my first match with Ric Flair, you know, guys like Steamboat, you know, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, you know, guys like Bret Hart. You know, man, I was such a sponge. Dusty Wolf, you know, my first match. I was such a sponge, man. Like I said, told Dusty Wolf, Mr. Wolf, you think you could help me get through this match? Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, baby.
It's probably the first time anyone has ever called him Mr. Wolf.
And the last.
And the last. Hey, man, we got to take a break, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, boy.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Oh, yes. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I know you guys love talking wrestling, but anything else we wanted to cover? Anything else? You know what? Go ahead.
Well, there's a couple things I want to run by, but just before we get off subject here.
What's that?
One of them was punk ass. Did he say anything back?
No, not David Otunga, but E-Wrestling News. They reported that story, man. And the thing is, they just totally just misquoted me. It just totally just said things that wasn't even true. I said punk ass. I only said it once.
I said it the second time.
And that's the only time that was mentioned. Am I right or wrong on that?
You're right.
But they said that I said that anybody who got bullied in the wrestling business was a punk. I didn't say that. That's not what I said at all. I made mention to one person and one person only, other than, there again, men that I hear talking like that 15 years later. Okay. Which I haven't heard a whole lot of men talking about being bullied 15 years later. Not a whole lot. I've heard a couple. You know what I mean? And the couple is perhaps who I'm talking about. But I don't throw a blanket. Because there again, in this business, you know, I'm sure some people have felt certain. I was with this one guy uh, on tour. He was a referee, and God rest, not God rest his soul, but God bless this dude. Uh, we were in Canada, and he had to go to wrestler's court. Okay, you know,
Okay.
he got found guilty. You know,
Got it.
so he had to, you know, get beer for the boys, you know, and you know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's not something that hadn't happened to anyone before, but this guy, he said, "To hell with that. I'm not getting the beer for nobody." He got his own damn ticket and he left the business. We never saw him again. I can respect that. I can respect that a whole lot more than someone waiting 15 years later to talk about the story.
Right.
All right. And this guy, I'm sure he's still around. And I'm sure if he's listening to this right now, I'm sure he knows I'm talking about him. He wasn't down for that situation. And opposed to doing that, he did the 99%, 100%, you know, deal. He wasn't going to, you know, just keep his mouth shut. He was going to just say, "Man, screw this. I'm not in. I'm not down with this." Now, could he have handled it a different way? Perhaps. But that was, you know, the way he felt he should, you know, choose to deal with that because he wasn't down for doing something like that. I can respect that. 100.
Yeah. Well, you know, to me, thankfully, in my life in career, you know, in our industry of wrestling, but also outside of it in my other endeavors, I've gotten to have the mentorship and the stewardship of one Booker T. So that 9900% rule has come into play a lot for me. And I agree with you. If you have something to say, it doesn't even have to be hostile, you know, in the moment. You could just be like, "Hey, bro, I didn't appreciate that. I appreciate what you said." And let's talk it out like a couple of guys. You know what I mean? Don't hold on to it because that's when you get called a punk ass.
Or, you know, or you handle it.
Or you handle it.
That's the
If
way
it's
I've
like, if
always
it's got to
said
be
it.
that way. If it's got to be that way.
I think it's got to be
Like,
that way.
If it's got to be the way, you handle it that way.
I mean, I can only imagine coming up back in the cowboy days.
Well, they would just shoot you.
You had to be, you know, one that's willing to, you know, fight or flight. One of the two.
Yeah.
That's what it was going to be, fight or flight. You know, and normally those guys back then, they was going to fight. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, that's the, you know, your first resort, you know, to handling business or anything like that. But I just always felt like for me, I'm gonna handle it one or two ways, diplomatically or not.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you
those are the only two ways you can handle something like that, really, because one thing about, you know, going through life, if you ain't got your respect, you ain't got nothing. You know, that's just me personally. If you don't have that respect from your fellow man, especially if you got to work with them, you ain't got nothing. I couldn't be around, you know, my workplace and people didn't respect me. But respect is something, you know, that's given. Respect is something that's earned.
Yeah. 100%, man. And to me, the respect, like you said, the guy who refused wrestlers court, even though like maybe some of the boys were hot. I'm sure all the boys were hot about it.
He didn't refuse it. He went through it, but he wasn't coming out of his pocket.
Right. Right. I'll sit here and listen.
He wasn't serving no beers.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Well, hey, it's the story that Bruce and you told at your roast all those years ago of like, you know, when Bruce Pritchard called you after the whole Austin thing, right? And you said it. You said, "Look, bro, I called him and apologized to him." He goes, "My bad. I ain't packing no bags."
Bro, I could have easily done that. You know what I mean? I could have easily said, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna pack his bags. And what would Steve have thought of you? He would have lost respect for you.
He would have had 100%. Zero. He would have had zero. And me personally, I'd rather get fired, lose my job, or quit before I lose my respect. And so therefore, I'm not packing nobody's bags. Okay, let's just forget about that. first and foremost. No, seriously. So sometimes you got to be able to stand up for yourself. And that was my first, my first initiations in this company. So I didn't have any friends, or I didn't have any, I wasn't a part of any cliques or anything like that. But I knew doing something like that would put me in a position that I could never, ever, scratch and claw my way out of doing something like that just one time.
Yeah, no, I mean, and so I will say this about the David Otunga thing. The e-wrestling.
And the thing is, let's say this. Let me say this first. I like David Otunga. Okay. David Otunga and we never had any bad blood or anything like that. Okay.
Sure.
And I'm sure after David probably thought about it, he probably said, man, maybe I should have rephrased it and said it a different way, perhaps.
Well, here's one thing about it. Maybe he should have said it a different way. The other thing is, it could have been term of endearment, right? Because David Otunga, the first time I ever saw him was on a show called I Love New York, which was a dating show. Do you remember this show? It was like Flavor of Love, and then they had New York.
Yeah.
And he was on that show, and guess what his name was on the show? His name wasn't David Otunga. You know what his name was?
What was it? And why was that?
I guess he must have been a punk ass. I don't know. That was his name, though. His name was Punk on the show. I'm not making this up.
Like CM Punk? Or just
just Punk.
Was it a term of endearment?
It doesn't sound like one to me.
Okay.
Look, how would you like it if a girl you're trying to date says, I'm going to give you a nickname? You say, what's my nickname, baby?
Wait a minute. The girl gave him the name.
Yeah. New York gave him the name Punk.
Wow. Well, New York, she looking for a roughneck. She needed somebody raw dog.
Who is she, MC Light? Gotta watch out. Gotta get a roughneck.
David Otunga is way too nice, and go in a situation like that. You got to be, pants sagging, you know what I mean? Grill, you would pick New York up real quick.
Callie Toenail says that New York thought he was soft and sweet.
Oh my God, man.
His name was Punk on the show. That's true.
I didn't know that, man. But no,
that's funny though.
David and I, we don't have no bad blood. So I don't want anybody to think David and I have any bad blood. I was just speaking on, in general purposes. That's it. In general, I don't care who would have said something. And like I said, John Cena, we're in his, retirement. You know what I mean? We going through the, the last time we getting ready to see John Cena, the greatest, last greatest champion of all time, whatever they said he was. But and then to, bring something up like that, it kind of like just throws shade. And I was like, man, that's not right. And I know a lot of people out there, they bash me for, defending John Cena. But John Cena's been a good dude. All right. John Cena's been a really, really good dude. And I'm sure he perhaps have had beef with guys. I'm sure he's had run-ins with guys. And that's why I would feel like guys would handle those run-ins, but guys are afraid to get fired. And this is my thing too. And this is one thing that I think people need to understand with David Otunga. And the reason I said, David Otunga being bullied, which I don't know if it happened or not, but David Otunga is a Harvard lawyer.
Yeah.
He's not just a run-of-the-mill wrestler.
Right.
He's a Harvard lawyer who knows about suing people. He knows about defamation of character. He knows about all these. So David Otunga is not the regular wrestler, is what I'm saying. And I don't think a Harvard lawyer is going to be bullied by anyone. That was more my point, I think, than anything. And I know we got to take a break.
We do.
You can respond on the other end. We'll be back in a minute.
You dig it, sucker!
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Out. When you come to the WWA, this is what you're going to have to face right here. It's the GI Bro.
Well, let me tell you something, Steve, baby. I've been noticing all these big guys like the Super Collider, the Warrior, this Thor. Well, let me... First things first, man. I got a new haircut. Would you like to see it, man?
Yeah, I want to see. All right.
G.I. Bro. G.I. Bro is my name. And beating people up is my game. Look in my eyes. Everybody in the WWA, I just want you to know one thing. The G.I. Bro is ready, willing, and able to take on all comers in the WWA. That means everybody. Thor, Cherokee Warrior, Super Collider, mainly because I seen what you did. You came out, you tore the sign up, you ripped it out of my little private's hand, and you stripped it in two, man. That's something you don't do. You don't mess with my little privates, man. It's a war. Let me tell you, when I get you in the square circle, when I get you in the combat zone, when I get you in the ganking zone, that's when I'm going to declare World War III on you and take you clean out of the game, man. Ah!
They need to put that in the Hall of Fame.
They ain't putting that in the Hall of Fame.
That is the greatest promo of all time.
And, you know what? On another note, I like that video right there, but it just reminded me something because my first interview was with ABC, and Dave Ward passed away.
Oh yeah,
and I just wanted to send my condolences to his family. Bob Allen actually interviewed me at the WWA, so that was just something when I saw that clip right there, it reminded me of Dave Ward. So I just want to say, man, rest in peace.
Yeah, Dave Ward, for people outside of Houston, longest serving, I think, anchor in ABC 13, KTRK's history.
Actually, the longest anchor at any local station in history.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when he retired, it was such a big deal when he retired. Like, he was on Jimmy Kimmel. A local news guy was on Jimmy Kimmel, when he was retiring. And that he was a part of that great run of Houston legends on that channel. Marvin Zindler.
Yeah.
You remember Marvin Zindler?
Yeah.
Sheriff Fryer, all the, Melanie Lawson says she's going to hang it up, I think, here pretty soon. So shout out to all them, and rest in peace. Yes, absolutely, to Dave Ward. What a Houston legend. And speaking of the legacy of Houston, we have super chats, but I want to get to a couple more things before we do it. I want to give a big shout out to a few people. One, the Houston Chronicle ran a story about our upcoming Sub-Zero show and the Legacy Championship. And something I don't know if we've talked about it on this show yet, but the Reality Wrestling Legacy Championship will be decided on Saturday in a ladder match at Sub-Zero. And it's modeled after the ring that you wear that you got from Paul Bosch. And I thought it was really cool that the Chronicle ran that story. So I just want to give them a big shout out. And y'all going to get to see whoever the first person is on Saturday night at Reality Wrestling Sub-Zero.
Yeah, just go to show how much the city really loved Paul Bosch too. For them to run that story, knowing that we are linked, to Paul Bosch, forever. With Reality of Wrestling now, I'm trying to keep that Paul Bosch Houston wrestling legacy alive. That keeping that dream alive as far as great shows, creating the next generation of young stars. Actually, we got another one of our young stars that's going to be on NXT here in a couple of weeks. Eli Knight going to be doing some stuff. You know what I mean? So we got another one at Reality of Wrestling about to get a tryout here in the next few. So man, it's about keeping Paul Bosch's dream alive more than anything. I wear the ring on a daily basis, and it definitely has done something for me since day one. Really has.
Well, that's going to be Saturday, and let me ask you this, and then we'll get to our super chats, because I feel like I wouldn't be doing my journalistic due diligence if I didn't ask you if you had a comment, because there's a lot of stories that went around the last week. There was actually a story in the Chronicle. There was a story coming from Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, and that John Cena podcast with Chris Van Vliet. A lot of people talking about what happened with Travis Scott and WWE. Your name got brought up a lot. I don't know how much of this you saw, but The Rock did say that Travis was training at Reality of Wrestling for a period of time for a match. Logan Paul said he no-showed the night it was supposed to go down. Cena says, hey, nothing happened, so why are we even talking about it? I don't know if you have any comment about it at all. We can move right along, but I thought that I would just give you the floor if you wanted to say something.
You know what, man? It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, I think we put, so much into having these matches like this where, you see a Bad Bunny or you see a Logan Paul go out there and, do it and do it, at a certain level and really make it look
Jelly
certain.
roll.
Yeah, Jelly Roll. But for everyone, things are different, man. Travis Scott is a different type of cat, man. He's got so much going on. And it just didn't work out. I think they overthought it more than anything. They might have put the carriage before the horse on that thing, thinking, oh, it's gonna be a hit just like all the other ones. But it just didn't work out. I say more than anything.
So, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes it just does not work out. Well, I wanted to ask you, just see what you thought. Let's get to our super chats. Jake from the Windy City says, Book, your feud with John Cena for the U.S. title in 2004 was the best summer in my childhood. Thank you for making the best childhood memories.
That was a great time in my career right there, man. Working with John, giving him that expert tutelage, taking him on that ride, so many house shows that you guys didn't get a chance to see with John and I, where it was all Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Don't ask me no questions before the match. Don't talk to me or anything. I don't want to see you before we got to make that walk. You know what I mean? And he would go out there and perform at the highest level. So best of 5, Booker T and John Cena. One of my most fun times, my most funnest memories in WWE.
Yeah, man. I remember that feud. I remember that. I remember watching I think that was when SmackDown was on. It wasn't on. I think it was either on CW or UPN at the time.
It was on UPN.
UPN, yeah. And I remember watching that, and I also remember Cena. That's when he really started doing. Did he ever do a diss rap to you?
No.
You didn't get dissed?
No.
Because he pretty much got everybody.
He didn't get me.
You must have been the one that didn't get the Cena diss. I was trying to remember if he ever did a Booker T diss.
No.
DJ Midnight says, I knew Gunther was going to win. Gunther is the new legend killer. Randy Orton up next. Well, yeah, I mean, Gunther retiring Goldberg and John Cena in 1 year is pretty impressive. I will say that's something that you're going to talk about in your career.
No, Gunther's the real deal. No doubt about it. He is truly the real deal. Just watching the guy work, he's so believable inside the ring. He's not a guy that you're going to walk up in a bar and ask a stupid question to or anything like that. Oh, seriously, because he can handle himself. You just look at him, you tell by where a man walk, if he can handle himself, and that's what Gunther is. And he's the guy now. And I said he was going to be the guy, when I first saw him, step into a WWE ring. I said, this guy's going to make some big, big moves here in the WWE, and he has. Big props to him as well.
Yeah, and what a rub, And to me, knowing Cena, I don't know him personally, but just knowing him from listening to how his aspect and views on the business, because I was on 975 talking about it on Saturday, and they asked me, do you think Cena's going to win? I said, I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to go out with Gunther, on his back. That's just what I thought. And I think that, I really do still think that was the right call. Kai Tono says, I believe
it was the right call. It really was.
Kai Tono says, I believe Cena had his way 100%. And Fire Marshal Bill Smile with the crowd pleaded, don't give up, was the emotional moment. Stop booing Triple H. Passing the torch isn't new. Happy belated boat. I appreciate that, Callie. Yeah, Triple H got booed out of the building, by the way. Terribly. Big time. Huge. You were there live. I saw it on TV.
The fans booed Triple H so long, I was back at the hotel by the time they stopped.
It was still going.
No traffic. No traffic. I know I'm going to get heat for that.
But you're not lying. They were letting him have it, man. I felt bad. I was like,
oh,
damn.
man. And I'm not lying either. I was back at the hotel by time.
Man, trips. Look, I really do think that people got, because this is what I said on the air. I said I think we got spoiled with Sting's retirement, and then The Undertaker retired by going out on top on AJ, and we thought, oh, okay, this is just what the legends do now. They retire on top.
Look,
When,
I'm
like,
telling you, no, I don't think that's what it was. I don't think it was Cena not, going out on top. I think the structure of it, I think it
is what
really
got him.
played
Okay.
into how the people really felt. Now, like I say, if he would have lost, and I wish I could have had a little bit in the production, of the way that match, would have and should have gone, perhaps. But I think that's what it was more than anything. It wasn't Cena losing. That wasn't what it was, because I watched it. I watched it myself, and there again, something was missing. Let's just say that something was missing. I'm not going to get too far into details and to the weeds with they should have did this, because there again, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a trainer. I see it from a totally different perspective than the fan that's watching it. So for me, I just thought it, could have been a little bit different. Let's just say that.
Okay. Hey, then you're definitely entitled to that. Our final one of the day is from D'Angelo Brown. Do you guys think Brock is retiring next SummerSlam? Brock's not going to retire ever until Brock can stop picking up that money. You know what I mean? I saw this rumor that because SummerSlam is going to be in Minnesota, we're going to see a Brock retirement. I don't think that you're not going to get a Brock retirement match unless it's like a big check attached to it. You know what I mean? I
don't see Brock going out,
No.
like this, but I mean, he's got to retire sometimes, and hopefully after he saw this with John Cena, sell out house, he'd want to do something similar as far as have that last match with that one guy. I think that would be a fitting way for anyone, especially someone like Brock Lesnar to go out.
Oh, man, to Oba Femi, let Oba put him out. You know
Exactly
what I mean?
my point. I just think it's, I think it's so much, and then Brock Lesnar is, people that don't know Brock Lesnar, I mean, he's a totally different guy than he was when he first got in this business. He understands this business now a whole lot better than he did when he first got in it. He's made a lot of money in this business, but he's definitely calculated his way through it. This business. He hadn't been a guy who's been naive to what his talent brings to this sport.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Well, those are all super chats. That's our show for the day, BT.
Booyah, man. Let me get ready for NXT going down tomorrow, man. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. I'm going to limp right to the desk and I'm going to get the job done. That's what I do. I want to thank Brad for all the heavy lifting. I want to thank you guys for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar drink, all the super chatters. Appreciate you guys, man. And until next time, peace. We love you. We out.